disclaimer, that introduction was not an advertisement, and this video is not about why you need to buy a freestyle skateboard. It's more the opposite. It's about if you should or if you need to buy a freestyle skateboard. Now, I talk about freestyle skateboarding a lot on this channel and how freestyle skateboarding can help beginner skaters even if they don't want to focus on freestyle. And I strongly believe in this. I absolutely credit my fast progression to starting with freestyle skateboarding. And because I talk about this so often, I've been asked the question, do I need a freestyle skateboard? A lot. So in this video, I just want to give my opinion on who might enjoy a freestyle skateboard and who might not, because they're not for everybody. And they are more expensive than a regular skateboard, so it's worth talking about. So I have 3 decks here, and I want to talk about what makes them different and who might want to freestyle on each of them. So this is what I would call maybe a common skateboard. Let's just say that if you go to a skate park, this kind of board and setup is what you're going to see most people skating. And if you go into a skate shop and say, I would like to learn how to skateboard, park in street style, please help me, they're going to set you up with something like this. It is a popsicle shaped deck with just regular wheels and trucks. And the trucks are going to be about the same size, but the same width as the deck. Now, there's absolutely nothing about this setup that is advantageous for freestyle skateboarding. The very rounded nose and tail make balancing and truck tricks a little more challenging. The regular wheels are not super easy to do rail tricks on because the axle sticks out past the edge of the wheel. And this makes balancing in rail a lot harder and can even damage the trucks. And freestylers slide their tail on the ground a lot, so you'll probably get razor tail or chips really quickly without skid plates. And so you might be wondering, Sarah, why would you even bring up this freestyle monstrosity if it's so ill-suited for freestyle skateboarding? And well, that's just because it might be perfect for you. A deck like this is great for somebody who already has a popsicle-shaped board and wants to just start experimenting with freestyle. Someone who doesn't want to focus on freestyle tricks but still wants to learn some basic footwork and tricks like finger flips or old school kick flips. Someone who is interested in regular street and park skating but wants to learn freestyle footwork to get better board control. If you can't afford a freestyle skateboard or just can't afford a second skateboard, using the one you already have or the slightly cheaper regular setup is a perfect option. Funny enough, anytime I ride this skateboard, I do end up doing some kind of freestyle tricks on it. I particularly like to warm up with freestyle footwork even when I go to a skate park, so this has seen plenty of freestyle tricks. But we have another option as well, and this would be what I think of as a crossover setup. If you mainly skate a regular park or street setup, but want to get more into freestyle and enjoy both, you can kind of hack your deck for this. So right here I have an 8-inch popsicle shaped deck with trucks that are meant for a 7.75-inch deck. So the smaller trucks allow the wide freestyle wheels to cover the axle, and you basically have a similar feel to a freestyle board. And I actually put some risers on here as well, just to give myself a little bit wider of a base when I'm in rail stand. But a deck like this is an awesome option if you want to mix a lot of freestyle and a lot of park tricks together. So if you want to go to a park and throw in freestyle tricks all over the place, this is a pretty good setup for that. So a setup like this plus skid plates is a great combination if you want to use a popsicle shaped board as your dedicated freestyle setup. Or if you can't afford another skateboard but can afford to pick up freestyle wheels and some smaller trucks. It's also a good option if maybe you cannot ship a whole freestyle setup to the place that you live, but can get your hands on some freestyle wheels or skid plates. If you like larger decks, this might be a good option for you, as a lot of freestyle decks tend to be on the smaller side, less than 8 inches wide. And there's actually tons of skaters who skate setups like this, so you're not going to be the only one. Mike Osterman also made a few videos on hacking your regular skateboard to make it freestyle friendly, so I'll put a link in the description to those videos as well. But if you want to learn as many freestyle tricks as possible, you don't care how many skateboards you have to buy, you can afford to get any skateboard you want, and you want a skateboard that is tailored to the kinds of tricks that you want to learn or already do, then let me introduce you to some of the cool features of a freestyle skateboard. A freestyle deck with a flat nose, called a single kick, is good for finger flips, caspers, and pogos. A double kick, where both the nose and tail curve upward, is great for rolling tricks and footwork. Even if you ride a double kick, the mellow angle of the nose and tail are also good for caspers and truck stands. Mellow concave is good for footwork because the middle of the deck is flatter than a regular popsicle shaped deck, and your foot won't be hindered by the curved edges of the board. A blunted or flattened nose or tail is also good for truck stands and variations like pogos and sidewinders and all the tricks that I cannot do. Deck cutouts refer to these shaped boards where the sides are slightly trimmed so that the deck is slightly thinner in the middle and a little bit wider over the wheels. Now this is great for rail stability because there's no curvature in the middle of the deck. And it's also great for rail tricks because it reduces the surface area in contact with the ground, which reduces friction. So easier rail whips and less friction to fight against when doing rail flips. Skid plates make the kicks last longer. You can slide your nose and tail on the ground as much as you'd like and never have to worry. It is much cheaper to buy another skid plate than it is to buy a whole new deck. And it's also going to reinforce your nose and tail, so if you do a lot of truck tricks and a lot of pogos, you're not going to chip the end of the deck as easily with the skid plate reinforcing the kick. Offset freestyle wheels protect the truck and rail and make rail tricks more stable by covering the axle, so you can have more confidence when standing or landing in rail. You can also grip the underside of the nose and tail to help with casper variations and other cool tricks so that your foot never slips off. Now, of course, you can freestyle on any skateboard, and what it really comes down to is how you want to skate. I definitely prefer doing freestyle on my freestyle skateboard, but I also can't exactly grip the underside of my regular deck and do a nose slide afterwards. Probably would defeat the purpose of the grip. And I want to end this video with some advice for anybody who might be like me. Now, it is so cool that a freestyle skateboard shape can help you with the tricks that you want to do. But if you're like me, before I bought my first freestyle skateboard, I did a ton of research. It was really time consuming, and I ended up buying a single kick from Mode skateboards and then later a single kick from Wall skateboards. And unfortunately, I didn't realize I would prefer freestyling on a double kick until I started freestyling on my regular skateboard. So I ended up with 2 single kicks, and I was always freestyling on my regular skateboard. So what I want to emphasize here is that to a beginner, a flat nose is not going to make learning how to casper all that much easier. Mellow concave A is not going to make walk the dogs easier than mellow concave B. The only thing that's going to make those tricks doable is if you go out and skateboard. So when you're trying to choose your first freestyle deck, don't get too worried about all of the little details and the flat nose versus the double kicks or the different kinds of concaves. If you want to get better at freestyle skateboarding, you just have to take the skateboard that you have, go out and skate it. And you're really never going to know what kind of shape you prefer until you actually skate it. I mean, I really thought that I was going to prefer a single kick, but this waltz double kick is actually the skateboard I've enjoyed freestyling on the most, but it's just because I've enjoyed the shape, and I would have never known that this is the best shape for me if I didn't try to skate it. So if you can, get off YouTube and go outside and skate. I'm here sending lots of happy, positive skate vibes your way. But one last thing. There are a lot of high quality skateboard makers out there, and I'll leave some links to companies that I'm familiar with down below so that you can go and kind of see the sizes, the shapes, the prices, just what's really available. And feel free to share any other freestyle skateboarding companies or brands that you're familiar with so that maybe down in the comment section we can create a little resource for anyone trying to buy their first skateboard. And I'll actually update the list if I get a chance. There's other cool companies or companies that ship to different countries, I'd be happy to update my list as well. Once again, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you got something out of it, and I hope to see you next time.